Welcome to Kindness Stories, where true strength lies in compassion, courage, and the human heart. If you believe that kindness has the power to change lives, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and stay with us until the end. For a story that will move you deeply, get all started on an unusually warm morning in early March. The hallways of West Haven High buzzed with chatter and laughter. Students spilling out of their buses and into the large brick building. The fluorescent lights flickered slightly overhead as lockers clanged open and shut. Among the crowd walked a quiet girl named Emily Carter. Emily wasn't new at West Haven, but you'd think she was. She rarely spoke, and when she did, her voice was barely above a whisper. Her hair was always neat, pulled into a low ponytail, and her clothes were simple modest jeans, oversized sweaters, and soft-colored shirts. She carried her books tightly against her chest, head low, hoping not to be noticed. But of course, in high school, silence doesn't go unnoticed. Brianna, the self-proclaimed queen of the school, noticed Emily right away. Brianna was beautiful, in a fierce kind of way. Her long blonde hair always fell perfectly round her face, and her friends followed her like shadows. She was used to being adored, feared, or both, and for reasons no one fully understood, Brianna had decided Emily was her new target. It started with subtle comments. One day as Emily walked past, Brianna smirked and said loudly, "That sweater looked like it was wear upon by my grandma." Her friends burst out laughing. Emily didn't respond, just kept walking. But the lack of reaction only fueled the fire. The teasing escalated. They tripped her in the hallway, flicked the back of her ear in class, leave mean notes in her locker. Emily never fought back. She never told a teacher. She simply endured it. Then came the day that everything changed. It was a Wednesday, second period English class. Mr. Decker had stepped out for a moment to speak with another teacher, and the room was humming with conversation. Emily sat in the second row from the front, trying to read quietly. She wore a plain white shirt that day, slightly loose, with the sleeves rolled up to her elbows. It was nothing special, but it was clean and simple, like her. Brianna was behind her. No one knew what set her off that day. Maybe it was boredom. Maybe it was just cruelty, but suddenly she stood up, reached forward, and with a swift jerk, ripped the back of Emily's shirt straight down the middle. The sound tore through the room like a whip crack. Emily gasped, the fabric pulling apart, exposing her back and bra as the thin material gave way. For a heartbeat. The room went quiet. Then laughter. Loud, cruel laughter. Phones came out. Someone snickered. "This is going on Snap." Emily stood, frozen, her face drained of all color. Her arms trembled as she clutched the front of her shirt, trying to cover herself, eyes wide and glassy. She turned to look at Brianna, whose smile was full of twisted triumph. And then, in one of the most unexpected moments the school had ever seen, Emily's eyes darkened. She stepped aside, looked at the heavy wooden desk in front of her and kicked it. The desk crashed forward, slamming into the floor with a deafening bang. Papers flew into the air. The laughter stopped. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone stared at Emily. She stood tall, fists clenched, chest heaving. Her voice, when she finally spoke, was clear and calm. "You think you're strong because you break things, but you're just a coward hiding behind your friends and your phone." No one had ever heard Emily raise her voice, much less say something so direct. Even Brianna looked stunned. Mr. Decker came back into the room at that exact moment and froze. The sight of the tipped-over desk, the ripped shirt, the stunned silence. It didn't take him long to figure something had happened. He told everyone to sit down and escorted Emily to the nurse's office, sending for the school counselor and the principal. The story spread like wildfire. But this time, something was different. People had seen the hurt in Emily's eyes. They had seen how far Brianna went. And most importantly, they saw that Emily wasn't just a quiet girl anymore. She had stood up, not just for herself, but for every kid who had ever been humiliated, every student who kept their head down and hoped to go unnoticed. The next day, students began approaching Emily in the hallways. Some said nothing, just gave her a nod of respect. Others whispered thanks, told her how brave she had been. A girl named Aisha, who had been bullied herself the year before, offered Emily her jacket when she saw her waiting outside for the bus. Brianna was suspended for 2 weeks. When she came back, the dynamic had shifted. Her old followers were suddenly distant. The school had drawn a line, and Brianna had crossed it. Asterisk, but the story didn't end there. Asterisk, Emily's bravery sparked something unexpected. The school decided to hold an open forum, inviting students to talk about bullying, kindness, and mental health. It was the first of its kind at West Haven. Students came forward, shared their stories, some heartbreaking, some inspiring. Teachers listened. The principal promised changes, anonymous reporting tools, student mentorship programs, kindness weeks. Asterisk, and Emily, asterisk, she spoke at the forum. Asterisk, her voice shook at first, but she stood tall. She told them everything: how long she had suffered in silence, how she felt invisible, how the ripping of her shirt felt like being torn in half. But she also told them how kindness, just small things, began to rebuild her. A smile from a stranger, a text from someone she hadn't spoken to in a year. The way people stopped laughing and started seeing her. Asterisk, she ended her speech with this. Asterisk, kindness isn't about grand gestures. It's about noticing the quiet ones. It's about stepping in when someone's being hurt. It's about choosing to be better, even when no one's watching. Asterisk, the gym erupted in applause. Asterisk, over the next few months, Emily started to come out of her shell. She joined the school's poetry club. She wrote a piece called Glass Girl, about how fragile people can be, but how, with enough care, they can reflect light in ways no one imagined. Asterisk, her poem won a regional competition. Asterisk, more importantly, it made others see her as more than just a quiet girl. She became someone others sought for advice, someone teachers respected, someone who had earned her place not by shouting the loudest, but by standing firm when it mattered most. Asterisk, as for Brianna, she apologized. No cameras, no audience, just a quiet moment after class. She looked Emily in the eye and said, "I didn't realize how much I hurt you. I thought it was just a joke. I was wrong." Asterisk, Emily didn't say much, just nodded. She didn't need revenge. She had already won something bigger. Asterisk, kindness doesn't always come from a gentle voice. Sometimes it comes from courage, from strength, from the moment someone decides, enough is enough. Asterisk, this is the story of a girl who found her voice by standing up, not to scream, but to say, "I matter." And that small act of courage echoed across an entire school. Asterisk, so the next time you see someone sitting alone, or walking with their head down, or trying hard to be invisible, don't look away. Smile. Say hello, because you never know how much strength it took for them just to show up. Asterisk, and maybe, just maybe, your kindness will be the moment that changes their life. Asterisk, thank you for watching Kindness Stories. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs a reminder that compassion and courage are stronger than cruelty. Don't forget to subscribe for more true stories that inspire, empower, and remind us all of what it means to be human. Asterisk, we'll see you next time. Asterisk.